I thought I was saving them. 3 beautiful kids who'd lost their parents. I wired thousands. I changed my will. Then I saw the Facebook post, her husband holding their youngest at a birthday party. Every tear she cried. Every story about their dead parents. All of it. Lies. I'm sitting in my Indianapolis apartment on a Tuesday night in September. It's just me and the TV, which I'm not really watching. Margaret's been gone 4 years now, and I still haven't figured out what to do with all this empty space. The house sold last year after I retired from the factory. 68 years old, and I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment that smells like nothing. No cooking, no perfume, no life. I pick up my phone and start scrolling through Facebook. That's when I see the message request. A woman named Rebecca. Her profile photo shows her holding 3 small children. They're all smiling, but their clothes look worn, faded. The message is simple. Good evening, sir. I hope you don't mind. My friend said you are kind American who help people. I stare at it for a minute. I get these messages sometimes. Usually I ignore them, but something about her face stops me. She looks tired, really tired, but there's something dignified about her. I click accept. Within seconds, she's online. Thank you for accepting, sir. My name is Rebecca. I am from Bataan, Philippines. I type back, I'm Gilbert. What can I do for you? She sends a longer message. I am sorry to disturb you. I am raising my sister's 3 children. Emma is 8, Liam is 5, and Sophia is 3. My sister and her husband died in motorcycle accident 2 years ago. I work as laundrywoman, but it is very hard. I feel something tighten in my chest. That's awful. I'm sorry for your loss. She sends a photo of the 3 kids. They're sitting on a concrete floor, eating rice from plastic plates. This is them. They are good children. Emma wants to be teacher. Liam loves to draw. Sophia has asthma, but we cannot afford inhaler. I don't know what to say, so I just tell her the truth. I lost my wife 4 years ago. Margaret, cancer. I retired last year, and honestly, I don't know what to do with myself most days. The 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. I am so sorry, Gilbert. You must miss her very much. And just like that, I'm crying. This stranger halfway around the world is the first person in months who's asked me about Margaret. My own kids, Jason and Michelle, they stopped asking years ago. I do. I type. Every day. We talk for 2 hours. She tells me about the kids. About how Emma does her homework by candlelight because they can't always afford electricity. How Liam plays with broken toys he finds in the street. How Sophia's asthma attacks scare her. She never asks me for money. Not once. She just talks and listens. Really listens. When I tell her about my job at the factory, about how I supervised a team of 40 people for 30 years, she says, "You must be very wise man. Good leader." No one's called me wise in a long time. When we finally say goodnight, I sit in the dark for a while. I can't stop thinking about those 3 kids, about how easy it would be to help them, about how good it would feel to matter again. 2 weeks go by and Rebecca and I message every single day. Sometimes it's just good morning. Sometimes we talk for hours. She sends me photos of the kids constantly. Emma doing her homework. Liam showing off a drawing he made. Sophia sleeping with a stuffed animal that's missing an eye. I find myself checking my phone every 10 minutes, waiting for her messages. My daughter Michelle calls one afternoon. "Hey Dad, how are you?" I tell her I'm good. "Great actually." She sounds surprised. "Really? You sound different." I almost tell her about Rebecca and the kids, but something stops me. Michelle would just worry. She'd think I'm being scammed or something. So I just say, "I've been keeping busy." We talk for 5 minutes before she has to go. Her kids are fighting over something. After we hang up, I feel that familiar emptiness again. Then my phone buzzes. It's Rebecca, a voice message. I press play and hear crying. "Gilbert, I am so sorry to burden you. Sophia had asthma attack at school today. Very bad. I had to borrow money from neighbor to buy inhaler. I don't know how I will pay her back. I am so scared. So tired. Her voice cracks and I feel something break open inside my chest. I don't even think about it. I grab my keys and drive to Western Union. $200. That's what I send. It's not much. Just enough for the medicine and maybe a little extra. When I get home, I message her. I sent you something. For Sophia's medicine. She doesn't respond for an hour. Then a video comes through. It's Sophia, holding an inhaler in her tiny hands. She's whispering something in Tagalog, then in English. Thank you, Tito Gilbert. Tito, that means uncle. Rebecca appears in the frame, tears streaming down her face. You are angel sent by God. No one ever helped us like this. Thank you. Thank you. I lie in bed that night, and for the first time in 4 years, I don't feel hollow. I feel needed. I matter to someone. To 3 someones. The next day, Rebecca video calls me. All 3 kids are there this time. Emma holds up a drawing. I made this for you, Tito Gilbert. It's a house, for you and us. Liam sings a song in Tagalog. He's off-key and adorable. Sophia blows me a kiss and says, I love you, Tito. I'm crying and I don't even try to hide it. Rebecca smiles at me through the screen. You are a good man, Gilbert. God bless you. That night, I sleep better than I have in years. 3 months pass and I'm sending money every week now. Sometimes it's $50 for school supplies. Sometimes it's $100 for food. Once, Rebecca messages me in a panic. Liam has dengue fever. He is in hospital. Bill is 25,000 pesos. I convert it in my head. About $500. I send it immediately. She sends me a photo of Liam in a hospital bed, hooked up to an IV. He's smiling weakly. I am getting better, Tito. The video calls are daily now. The kids call me every night before bed. Emma tells me about her school day. Liam shows me his new drawings. Sophia always ends with, I love you, Tito. Good night. One evening, I'm talking to Rebecca alone after the kids go to sleep. She looks exhausted. Gilbert, can I tell you something? I nod. Of course. She wipes her eyes. I am so tired. Every day I wake up and think, how will I feed them today? How will I keep them safe? My sister was my best friend. When she died, I promised her I would take care of them. But I don't know if I can do it anymore. I feel my heart breaking. Rebecca, listen to me. You're not alone anymore. I'm here. She looks at the camera. Why are you so kind to us? We are nothing to you. I shake my head. You're not nothing. You're everything, she cries. You are too good for this world, Gilbert. After we hang up, I make a decision. I'm going to visit them. I need to meet these kids in person. I need to see where my money is going. Not because I don't trust Rebecca, but because I want to be part of their lives, really part of it. I book a flight to Manila for December, 2 months away. When I tell my son Jason, he barely looks up from his phone. The Philippines? Why? I tell him about Rebecca and the kids. He frowns. Dad, be careful. There are a lot of scams over there. People pretending they need help. I laugh it off. Rebecca's not scamming me, Jason. She's a good woman raising 3 orphaned kids. I'm just helping. He shrugs. Okay, just saying, but his words stick with me. That night I look at all the photos Rebecca's sent me, the kids' smiling faces, their worn clothes, their simple home. This isn't a scam. This is real. These kids need me, and honestly, I need them too. I'm at my friend Tom's house in Fountain Square. We're watching a Colts game and I'm showing him photos on my phone. Tom's another widower. Lost his wife 6 years ago. We worked together at the factory for 20 years. He squints at my screen. These the kids you've been talking about? I nod. Yeah. Emma, Liam, and Sophia. I'm flying out to meet them in December. He takes a sip of his beer. You sending money to this woman? I tell him yes, but it's not like that. It's for the kids. They're orphans. Tom sets down his beer and looks at me. Gil, I did 2 tours in the Philippines back in the 80s. This is textbook. The orphan story. The sick kid. The daily video calls. I've seen it 100 times. I feel my face getting hot. You don't know her, Tom. She's not like that. He holds up his hands. I'm just saying, buddy, these women are good. They know exactly what to say to guys like us. Lonely, retired, good-hearted. They target us. I stand up. Rebecca's not targeting me. She's a single woman raising her dead sister's kids. I'm helping because I can. Because I want to. Tom nods slowly. Okay, just be careful. I leave angry. The whole drive home, I'm fuming. Tom doesn't get it. He's been alone so long, he's forgotten what it's like to care about someone. When I get home, I message Rebecca. I don't tell her about the conversation, but I do start paying more attention. Small things, like how sometimes she says she's at work, but I can hear a TV in the background, or how the hospital bills she sends me are just handwritten receipts on plain paper, no official stamps, no hospital logos. One time during a video call, I see a pair of men's shoes in the corner of the room. Whose shoes are those? Rebecca glances over. Oh, those are my brother's. He stays here sometimes to help with the kids. I want to ask more, but I don't. Because asking means doubting, and doubting means maybe Tom was right, and I can't handle that. So I keep sending money. I keep believing. Because the alternative is going back to my empty apartment with no one who needs me, and I can't do that. I won't. Manila is chaos. I land on December 8th, and the heat hits me like I've walked into an oven. Rebecca is waiting at arrivals holding a sign with my name. She looks different in person, younger, prettier, but also nervous. She smiles and hugs me. Welcome to Philippines, Gilbert. I am so happy you are here. I hug her back. Where are the kids? She looks apologetic. They are at home with my neighbor. I didn't want them to get tired waiting at airport. The drive is very long. We climb into a tricycle, a motorcycle with a sidecar. I barely fit. The driver weaves through traffic like a madman. Rebecca holds my hand the whole way. I am so nervous, she says. My house is very simple. I hope you are not disappointed. I squeeze her hand. Rebecca, I'm here to see you and the kids. I don't care about the house. The drive takes 3 hours. I watch Manila turn into countryside. Tin shacks, kids playing in dirt, families eating on the side of the road, poverty like I've only seen on TV. When we finally arrive in Bataan, Rebecca's neighborhood is a maze of narrow alleys and concrete houses stacked on top of each other. Her house is at the end of a dirt path. One room, maybe 10 feet by 10 feet. A shared bathroom outside, mats on the floor, no furniture. And then I hear screaming, Tito Gilbert! Tito Gilbert! The 3 kids come running out. Emma crashes into me. Liam grabs my leg. Sophia reaches up with both arms. Up, Tito, up. I pick her up and she wraps her arms around my neck. I'm crying. Rebecca is crying. The neighbor, an older woman, is smiling at us. For 3 days, I live with them. I sleep on a mat on the floor. I eat what they eat. Rice and dried fish, canned sardines, instant noodles. I play with the kids. We color. We sing songs. Sophia sits in my lap and watches cartoons on Rebecca's phone. Emma shows me her homework. Liam gives me a drawing of our family. All 5 of us holding hands. On the second day, I notice the roof is leaking. I ask Rebecca about it. She shrugs. It has been like that for a long time. When it rains, we put buckets. I find a local contractor and pay him $300 to fix it. Rebecca cries, You are doing too much. I buy them a small refrigerator, another $200. Rebecca keeps saying, This is too much, Gilbert, too much, but she's smiling. On the last night, the kids are asleep inside. Rebecca and I sit outside on plastic chairs. She leans her head on my shoulder. I wish you didn't have to leave. I tell her I'll come back. I'll always come back. She lifts her head and kisses my cheek. You are the father they never had. I fly home the next day feeling like I've found my family. But something nags at me. The neighbor. When I handed her money to thank her for watching the kids, she gave me this look. It wasn't gratitude. It was something else. Pity, maybe, or sadness. I shake it off on the plane. I'm just tired, just paranoid. I'm back in Indianapolis and everything feels wrong now. My apartment feels even emptier. The silence is louder. I'm sending Rebecca $1,000 a month now. Sometimes more. She needs money for Emma's school tuition, then for Liam's birthday party, then for a new nebulizer for Sophia. I drain my savings account. I dip into my 401k, my retirement fund that I spent 30 years building. Michelle calls one day. Dad, we need to talk. I already know what this is about. What is it, honey? Her voice is sharp. Jason told me you're sending thousands of dollars to some woman in the Philippines. Is that true? I try to explain. About Rebecca, about the kids, about how they need me. She cuts me off. Dad, this is insane. You're being scammed. This is classic. The orphaned kids, the daily video calls, the endless requests for money. I feel my jaw tighten. She's not scamming me, Michelle. You don't know her. Michelle's voice rises. Neither do you. You've known her for 6 months. And you've never even met her kids' birth certificates or any proof they're even orphans. I hang up. We don't speak for 2 weeks after that. One night in February, Rebecca messages me in a panic. Gilbert, the landlord, is evicting us. He says if I don't pay 150,000 pesos by Friday, we must leave. I don't know what to do. The kids will be on the street. 150,000 pesos. I do the conversion. $3,000. I wire it the next day. She sends me a video of their new place. It's bigger. 2 rooms, actual furniture, a couch, a table. But something feels off. The video is only 10 seconds long. She doesn't show me the outside. When I ask for a full tour, she says, my phone is broken. Camera not working good. I start digging. Late at night, when I can't sleep, I reverse image search her profile photo. Nothing comes up. I Google Philippines romance scam. The articles I find make my stomach turn. They sound exactly like my situation. The orphaned kids, the sick child, the endless financial emergencies. I feel sick. But then Emma video calls me the next morning. She's crying. Tito Gilbert, I got award at school for best in math. I wanted to tell you first. She holds up a certificate. Her name is on it. She's beaming. I wish you were here, Tito. I melt. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just paranoid like Tom said. Maybe this is real, and I'm sabotaging it because I don't believe I deserve to be happy. That night, I change my will. I leave the kids $50,000. Split 3 ways. For their education. Jason and Michelle get the rest. But the kids get something too, because they're family now. They have to be. It's a Thursday morning in March. I'm drinking coffee and scrolling through Facebook when I see it. A post from someone named Marco Santos. He's tagged in a photo. A birthday party. Balloons. Cake. Kids. And then I see her. Sophia, my Sophia, wearing the pink dress I bought her in December. She's sitting on a man's lap. Marco's lap. He's smiling. She's smiling. The caption reads, Happy 4th birthday, Sophia. Love, Mama and Papa. My hands start shaking. I click on Marco's profile. Construction worker. From Bataan. Relationship status. Married to Rebecca Lozano. I scroll. Every photo is a knife in my chest. There's Rebecca. And Emma. And Liam. And Sophia. All of them. Together. As a family. Photos going back years. Christmas 2022. Beach trip 2023. Liam's birthday 2024. They're not orphans. They have a father. I find a photo from December 10th, 2 days after I left Bataan. Rebecca and Marco at a restaurant, holding hands, smiling. My vision blurs. I can't breathe. I stand up and the room spins. I grab my phone and message Tom. Just 2 words. You were right. Then I message Rebecca. Who is Marco? She reads it immediately. The 3 dots appear, disappear, appear again. Finally a message. Gilbert, I can explain. Please let me call you. I don't respond. I keep scrolling through Marco's Facebook. There's a video from last week. Marco playing with the kids. Sophia is on his shoulders. Emma is hugging his leg. Liam is making faces at the camera. They look happy, so happy. Their father is alive, healthy, smiling, working. He posted about a construction job he just finished. Everything Rebecca told me. The motorcycle accident, her sister's death, raising them alone. All lies. I've sent her over $15,000, changed my will, told my own kids they didn't understand, ignored everyone who warned me. For what? For a woman who has a husband the whole time. She calls me 17 times. I don't answer. I just stare at my phone and watch it ring. Finally, I pick up. My voice sounds like someone else's. Flat. Dead. Tell me the truth. All of it. She's crying. Gilbert, please understand. Please listen to me. I don't say anything. She keeps talking. Marco left me for another woman 2 years ago. He came back, but we fight all the time. He doesn't give me money. He drinks. He gambles. The kids needed help and I had no one. I cut her off. The kids aren't orphans. Your sister isn't dead. You've been lying to me for 6 months. Silence. Then her voice comes back, quieter. I didn't lie about everything. I do need help. Marco barely works. He gives me nothing. We were really going to be evicted. Sophia really has asthma. I made the story better so you would care. Better. She made it better. I laugh. It's a bitter, hollow sound. You used me. You used your own children. She's sobbing now. No. I care about you, Gilbert. The kids love you. Emma talks about you every day. Liam drew you a picture yesterday. They ask when you're coming back. I think about that video of Marco holding Sophia at her birthday party, how happy she looked, how she never looked that happy in videos with me. Do the kids even know what you did? Did Emma know she was part of a scam when she showed me that award? Rebecca's voice changes, hardens. It's not a scam. You have money and we don't. You live in big house and we live like dogs. You wanted to feel good and I gave you that. You wanted to feel needed. We both got something. And there it is. The truth under all the tears. I wasn't helping a struggling single mother. I was paying for a fantasy, paying to feel needed, paying to be someone's hero. And she knew. She knew exactly what I wanted, exactly what to say, exactly what photos to send. I think about Margaret, about how I promised her I'd be okay after she was gone, how I promised I wouldn't lose myself. Don't contact me again, I say. You or the kids. I hear her scream as I hang up. Gilbert, Gilbert, please. I block her number. Then I block her on Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, email, Instagram. Everything. I delete every photo of the kids from my phone, but I can't delete them from my head. I keep seeing Sophia's face when she held that inhaler. Emma showing me her drawings. Liam singing off key. Were any of those moments real? Or was everything a performance? Tom comes over that night with a bottle of whiskey. He doesn't say anything, just sits next to me on the couch and pours 2 glasses. We sit in silence for a while. Finally, he speaks. I'm not going to say I told you so. I laugh bitterly. You don't have to. He takes a sip. For what it's worth, Gil, you're not the first. Hell, you won't be the last. These women, they're good. They know exactly what to say. They target lonely guys like us because they know we're vulnerable. They know we're looking for something. Anything. I stare at my glass. I changed my will, Tom. I left them $50,000. I was going to move there. I told Michelle she didn't understand, that she was jealous. Tom winces. Jesus, Gil. We drink in silence. The next morning I call my lawyer. I change everything back. Jason gets the house when I die. Michelle gets the savings. The life insurance gets split between my grandkids' college funds, the way it should have been all along. When I call Michelle to tell her, she cries. Dad, I wasn't mad about the money. I was scared. I was scared you were being hurt, that you were going to lose everything. I realize I've been so focused on being needed by strangers that I forgot about the people who actually love me. That night, I sit in Margaret's chair, the one in the corner I've been avoiding for 4 years. I look at our wedding photo on the mantle. We're so young, so happy, so stupid. I'm sorry, I whisper. I tried to replace you, replace everything. I thought if I saved someone, if I mattered to someone, I'd feel whole again. But I just feel emptier. The truth settles over me like a weight. I wasn't saving those kids. I was trying to save myself. And you can't buy salvation. Not with $15,000. Not with anything. 3 months later, I'm sitting in a circle of plastic chairs at the community center. Grief counseling, Michelle insisted. I resisted for weeks, but finally agreed. There are 8 of us. All widows and widowers, all lost, all looking for something. The counselor, a woman named Dr. Palmer, asks me to share. I tell them everything. About Rebecca, about the kids, about how I gave away everything trying to fill the hole Margaret left behind. When I finish, no one speaks for a moment. Then an older woman named Patricia reaches over and squeezes my hand. We all try to fill it with something. You just chose the wrong something. After the meeting, Patricia and I talk outside. She lost her husband 7 years ago. I almost joined a cult, she says matter-of-factly. A spiritual group that promised I could communicate with my husband. Cost me $20,000 before my daughter intervened. She smiles sadly. Grief makes us do desperate things. I start going to the meetings every week. It helps. Talking to people who understand. Who've been where I am. Who aren't judging me. I also start volunteering at the local Boys and Girls Club, 3 days a week. I help kids with homework. I teach them basic woodworking. The same skills I learned at the factory 40 years ago. It feels good. It feels real. These kids don't call me Tito or tell me they love me. They just say, "Hey, Mr. Gilbert, can you help me with this?" And that's enough. One afternoon, a 10-year-old named Marcus asks me why I volunteer. Don't you have grandkids or something? I tell him I do, but they live far away. He nods. That sucks, but you're good at this, teaching us stuff. I smile. Thanks, Marcus. It's not the same as what I thought I had with Rebecca's kids, but it's real, and real is better than fantasy. One afternoon in June, I get a message request on Facebook. My heart stops when I see the name, Emma. I stare at the notification for a full minute before I open it. Tito Gilbert, I miss you. Mama told me you are busy. Are you coming back? My hands shake. I read it 3 times. She doesn't know. Emma doesn't know what her mother did. She just knows I disappeared. I type out a response 5 different times. Delete them all. Finally, I just block the account. Not because I'm angry at Emma, but because I can't do it again. I can't blur the line between helping and needing to be needed. I can't let loneliness make my decisions anymore. That night, I call Jason. We talk for over an hour, the longest conversation we've had in years. I tell him I'm sorry for pushing him away, for making him feel like he wasn't enough, for trying to replace him with strangers. He's quiet for a moment. Dad, I never felt replaced. I was just scared I was going to lose you, not because you were moving to the Philippines, but because you weren't acting like yourself. He tells me about his kids, my grandchildren who I barely know. Olivia is 12 now, plays soccer, wants to be a veterinarian. Connor is 9, obsessed with dinosaurs, drives his parents crazy with random facts. They ask about you sometimes, Jason says. I'd like them to know you better. We make plans for them to visit in July, a whole week. Jason says they can stay with me. We'll go to the zoo, the children's museum, maybe a Colts game. After we hang up, I sit in the dark for a while. I think about everything I lost. $15,000, 6 months of my life, my dignity. But I also think about what I found, my kids, my real family, people who've been there all along. I think about Emma's message, about how she misses me. Part of me wants to respond, to explain, but I can't, because explaining means engaging, and engaging means opening that door again. So I let it go. I have to. The grief counseling group keeps meeting. Every Thursday, I keep going. Patricia and I become friends. She invites me to her book club. I decline at first, but eventually I go. It's nice. Normal. No one wants anything from me except my thoughts on the latest mystery novel. I keep volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club. Marcus brings his younger sister one day. She's shy. Won't talk to anyone. but she watches me work with the wood. Eventually she comes over. Can you teach me? I spend an hour showing her how to sand a piece of oak, how to feel the grain, how to work with the wood, not against it. She doesn't say much, but when she leaves, she smiles. It's enough. In August, my grandkids come to visit. Olivia is taller than I expected. Connor won't stop talking about velociraptors. We go to the zoo, the museum. We eat ice cream and pizza. On the last night, we're sitting on my couch watching a movie. Connor falls asleep with his head on my shoulder. Olivia looks at me. Grandpa, Dad said you were sick for a while. Are you better now? I think about how to answer. I was lost, I tell her, but I'm finding my way back. She nods like she understands. Maybe she does. After they leave, the apartment feels empty again. But it's a different kind of empty. It's not hollow. It's just quiet. I can live with quiet. I call Michelle and thank her for not giving up on me, for forcing me into counseling, for loving me even when I was being an idiot. She laughs. Dad, you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to be human. I realize I spent so much time trying to be someone's hero that I forgot how to just be a person. Flawed, imperfect, lonely sometimes, but real. I'm 68 years old. I've been a fool. I gave away $15,000 to a woman who lied to me. I ignored everyone who tried to warn me. I almost destroyed my relationship with my own kids. But I'm not dead yet, and maybe there's still time to get this right. I think about Margaret sometimes, about what she'd say if she could see me now. I think she'd be disappointed in how I handled things, but I also think she'd be proud that I'm trying to fix it, that I'm showing up for my real family, for myself. One Thursday evening, Dr. Palmer asks us to share something we've learned. I think for a moment. I learned that you can't buy your way out of loneliness. You can't fill the hole with money or fantasies or strangers who tell you what you want to hear. You have to sit with the pain, feel it, let it transform you. And then you have to show up for the people who've been there all along. Patricia squeezes my hand. That's beautiful, Gilbert. I smile. Took me 15 grand to figure it out. The group laughs. It feels good to laugh about it, to own it without letting it destroy me. I can't get the money back. I can't undo the lies. I can't erase the 6 months I spent living in a fantasy. But I can stop letting loneliness make my decisions. I can be present. I can be real. I can be enough, just as I am. That night, I go home and sit in Margaret's chair. I don't apologize this time. I just sit. And I remember the good parts, the real parts, the parts that were ours and no one else's. And I make a promise, not to Margaret, to myself. I promise to stop looking for salvation in strangers, to stop trying to be needed so desperately that I lose myself, to show up for my kids, my grandkids, my community, to be real, imperfect, human. It's not a happy ending, but it's an honest one, and maybe that's enough.